Well, I'm delighted to be joined by the team of the China UK International Music Festival. And that fantastic team are Wu Mengmeng, who is the general manager, uh, Wenda, who is the development director, and Yao Yi, who is the artistic director. It's lovely to be joined by you all.
Thank you. It's very nice for you to invite us here. Thank you.
Well, I've got to know you all extremely well over the past few years. Wenda and Mengmeng, just tell me how this marriage of music between East and West and literal marriage started and where it all began.
We met in a Chinese New Year concert in Queen Mary. She was a performer on stage. I was an audience and as also an organizer. So after the concert, I take her for dinner.
So Mengmeng, when you met your now husband, I can't imagine that he'd ever thought that he was going to get involved in music to the degree that he has.
Because he has became my husband, so he have to do something for this festival.
Of course, absolutely, absolutely. You have to keep him busy. Quite right too. And Yi, I think you had quite an unusual meeting with Mengmeng. You must tell us about this.
Oh yes, it was quite I would call it a fate because we attend a Chinese film festival back years, and we end up sleep in the same room in the hotel and without knowing each other, but we have to share a same bed as well. It's a double bed. Yes. And we just chat whole night and find out Momo was actually went to the high school, the same high school I went. So we were amazed, like how how fate is.
This is quite an extraordinary coincidence because China is not a small country, is it?
No, it's huge. No. And yes, of course, and our school is quite big. But of course, I'm a lot older than Momo. So Momo, our code is what do we call it? The sister mate from the school. Yeah. We call that in Chinese. So we just chat, and I found we share lots of views and values of life, and we just get on very well.
Well, it's a very happy team. I think that's one of the beautiful things. And the mission of the China UK International Music Festival is a very beautiful mission, isn't it? Would you like to tell us about that mission, Mengmeng?
The festival aims to act as a professional platform for musicians and music amateurs of both China and the UK to connect and communicate with each other through all kinds of musical events, promoting cultural exchanges between the two countries. Yeah,
exactly. But ultimately, of course, there is, and it's happened over the last 100 years, really, ever since I think the Paris exhibition of 1889, when Debussy heard the gamelan, the Javanese gamelan, but there was also all the various cultures particularly from the Far East, had pagodas built all out of plaster. The whole world would go to Paris. That changed the musical dynamic, didn't it, between all nations, and the resultant music has become an international music. Do you think that the China UK International Music Festival has a role to play in developing further both the way in which musicians integrate and also the way in which musical instruments integrate, because that's something we've not seen so much of, Western and Eastern instruments joining together. Yi, what do you feel about that?
Oh yes, very very strongly, because as Momo says, our achievements actually we want to make the high level of culture exchange, and to really meet that goal, we need to bring the two instruments and the music together. How they deliver it. We got like two ways. Is one was separate the two instruments into their individual concerts. So one is a Chinese instrument, they have their own concert, and the Western music instrument has their own concert, but they have to play at least 20% of a repertoire of each other culture's music. And by that, they have to rearrange some music. And also another way, the second way is we want to combine these two instruments together on the same stage. Mm. And how to meet that is from the new composition. And that will lead to our competition topic. Maybe Mengmeng later can introduce to us about this competition. So we got this new composition come in through the competition, and they will write the music, and we pick the best, the first and second prize, and we will lively perform. And they have to write for both instruments together.
They have to write for both Eastern and Western instruments.
And Western music together. And from that, the artist will learn each other's culture and the instrument, and that's what we're trying to meet.
And of course, that creates a whole new repertoire, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Very exciting indeed. Okay, so the competition was where it all began. Mengmeng, tell us about the competition and what it has been doing and how it has been growing over the past. It's only 3 years, isn't it?
The competition of the festival involves composition, Western musical instruments, traditional Chinese musical instruments, and the vocal. The competition is divided into professional group and amateur group, covering all ages. The purpose of the competition is not only to attract more attention for our festival, but also to discover more outstanding young musicians from the competition to be candidates for our future concerts and China tours. Especially for the winners of our composition competition, we will always continue to create opportunities to perform their compositions.
Yes, that's a very important thing. And I don't know of any other platform that can actually bring both Chinese and Western instruments together to perform brand new works. It's a very unusual and a very special thing indeed. The winner of last year, the competition in 2020, which took place fortunately in January, before all the challenges that the world has faced ever since. Very well timed, if I might say. Are two outstanding musicians, one from the Royal College and the other from the Mengmeng School. And I think we're going to be able to hear the violinist from the Mengmeng School very soon, aren't we? Yi, would you like to tell us a little bit about Vivian?
Vivian, actually now she is, I think she is in the Royal College of Music now. She just graduated the last year while she was joined our competition. And she was the former student from the Yahudi Mengmeng School. And I think we can call it, she is rising stars.
And what is also very lovely is the fact that she's going to be recorded in the almost brand new Neuron pod, which is part of Queen Mary University. And Queen Mary University is rightly your official home, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
That's right. And of course, where you met. So it has all the right reasons there. And Wenda, you've been out to China a lot recently, developing links with China. Is there a strong appetite in China for Western music?
Yes. Now a lot of new venues was built up for performing the classical music, especially for the Western music. And now, of course, the Chinese own traditional music also is developing. People get more confident on their music, so they also want to show more. A lot of tickets was immediately sold out in China. If there's very big orchestra, like London Philharmonic Orchestra or some very famous, well-known orchestra go to China to hold concert. The tickets is sold out very quick. What we can hear in the West, in the UK, for example, the Chinese music is just is rare.
I think last year, seeing the extraordinary number of guzhens that were performing, both in Cambridge, packed concert in Cambridge. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like it. And then coming to Queen Mary in our Octagon was very special. That's the largest ensemble of guzhens that's ever come to the United Kingdom. Is that right?
Yes, yeah. That's his biggest.
So a moment of musical history created by your organization. I'm so glad that you met at Queen Mary, and Wenda, that you came to that concert. Very good fortune indeed. So we've spoken about the composition, we've spoken about the competition element, and we've also touched upon the musical performances that go on. You do bring outstanding musicians to both countries, outstanding Chinese musicians to England and vice versa. And I remember some extraordinary performances last year, but this year's not been possible to do that physically. Tell us about the festival that we're going to be able to enjoy in May. Mengmeng, give us an introduction to what we're going to be able to hear and how we will hear it.
And this year we are very fortunate and honored to have received the fundings from Arts Council England, and giving us the opportunity to invite more musicians and musical groups, including the London Philharmonic Orchestra, Yehudi Menuhin School String Orchestra, National Youth Jazz Orchestra, and violin professors Wu Kun and Michael Foyle from RAM, and pianist Dinara Clinton from RCM, a British tenor Ian Bostridge, and guitarist Yang Xuefei, and so on, a lot of musicians. We will be having a total of 10 online concerts, and which will soon be premiered every Saturday and Sunday at 2 p.m. starting on the 1st of May. And everyone is welcome to tune in.
These, of course, are all free of charge to everybody. They can watch these both in England and in China, but of course across the globe. And what is, I think, very special about this is that we've got some of the finest UK talent. Yi, that's quite an extraordinary achievement, isn't it?
Oh, amazing! I couldn't believe what we've got here on the table, especially, well, of course, the London Philharmonic Orchestra, and also Ian Bostridge. As for that concert, he will sing a song written by Benjamin Britten, who wrote the song for a Chinese old poem. It's quite short piece. It's about 12 minutes, but the history is rich. You will love it. With the classical guitarist Xuefei Yang, who is the toppest classical musicians at one of the toppest at the stage at the moment.
Yes. I mean, it's an extraordinary star-studded cast, isn't it? That really, yes, the best of British and the best of China, all coming together to make beautiful music together. What are your ultimate plans for the future? Mengmeng, how do you see the organization developing?
In the future, we will continue to build on our current structure, but might be shifting our focus to mutual visits and tours by musicians from both countries. That is inviting Chinese musicians to give concerts in the UK, and also bringing British musicians to give concerts in China. Other than that, keeping in mind of the development of technology, we also plan to include more online music activities so that more people can be aware of our festival.
Wonderful. Well, I wish you all good luck in the wonderful mission that you have, which is to unite nations through the art of music, which of course is the most beautiful way of doing so. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much. Thank you.